Hello and welcome back to another Hearts of Iron 4 video. Today we embark on a great journey as we join with our friends in Mexico on a large campaign. Let's begin. Our story begins with Lázaro Cárdenas in the year 1936. As you can see, Mexico isn't doing as well as it could have hoped to, and for what we're going to do, things are sadly going to get worse. It began with the plan of Agua Prieta. Let us start by making sure that we have a pride of the fleet, and so it begins. Unfortunately, Mexico has recently come out of a war between the Carlistas and the Catholics, to which the Carlistas have won. As a result, Plutarco Calles is now strengthening his grip on Mexico, which gives us more political power, but the Catholics are definitely not going to be happy. However, in the shadows, an agency is forming to bolster the Catholic forces currently in hiding. Sadly, Pope Pius wasn't able to help us in our time of turmoil, but this is also true of Spain and the Soviet Union, the terrible triangle of the persecution of Catholics. Terrible. In any effort, Mexico should ensure we have control of our army, and a cheeky 5 stability. As Plutarco has now found himself in government, the Catholic Underground Railway has begun its own work. In research news, Mexico is deciding to get transport ships, which is going to be very useful later on. Plutarco has pushed to ban political militias to ensure his grip on Mexico. The United Kingdom revisits colonial policy. I think this is going to be ahistorical. Calais is now enforcing his laws, ensuring that the church and state remain fully separated. Things are not looking good for Mexico. And the Spanish Civil War has started, which we may or may not want to get involved with. Mexico has now become an atheist state. The Catholic Church is gone. It's over. Which I'm pretty sure there's going to be another war, assuming we click the wrong focus. Like this one here. Well, it's time to completely destroy the Cristeros. Oh no. The most revered Archbishop of Mexico City has passed away. It's kind of worked out at a convenient time. But do you know what? Things might change, perhaps. We should give him a proper state burial. How do you feel about this, Lázaro? Is that the face of a guilty man? And with triumph of the Cristeros done, it seemed like Catholicism had died in Mexico. Little did they know that late at night, while everybody slept, a vision appeared to them. A dream in which they saw something nobody had quite expected. A vision of Catholic light itself.
Children, it is I, your glorious prophet Oscar, generic Catholic figure. I have come to you in this moment of downfall to tell you that the world needs Catholicism, moreover South and Central America do. I charge the people of Mexico with ensuring success over this new religious quest. Come my people, for what we do now, we do of our own free will, in the name of peace and sanity. I swear you better get down to Peru or it'll be so mad I swear to all heaven above.
It's time to completely change everything. Let's get rid of this anti-Catholic nonsense. The game has changed. Calais, you've gone too far this time. You've pushed it over the edge. We can begin by moving the country up to free trade and respecting women. A very good first step. Did somebody say votes for women? The Kingdom of Hungary declared war on Austria. Oil workers strike. So we have two options. We can either just deal with it, but then instantly have a civil war, or take 5% stability loss. I think the 5 stability, thanks. Pablo Garza has been hired as a Prince of Terror to try and stop the rise of Catholicism. His power is weak. And now that women can vote, we can establish anti-disestablishmentarianism. In case you're wondering, anti-disestablishmentarianism is where you give land back to the church. Pretty simple. I'm not saying it's the Catholic Underground Railway that's doing all of this. I'm just saying it could be. That's all. Spain looking as chaotic as ever? With this we can rewrite the Constitution of 1917 and ensure that the Church is always above the state. Catholics for the win. Although I'm definitely getting another image of the light here. What is it telling me?
Yeah, If you don't stomp out the high tensions of that general, you're gonna have a civil war. Alright, amen, etc.
Okay, we should probably deal with this whole Cadulo general sort of situation. It's probably going to upend us. Okay, we'll deal with that, but we also are going to go Catholic. It's kind of important for the entire run. Partial mobilisation? Pretty good. Let us return to the Knights of Columbus, who gave us donations to fund the Cristeros, and definitely don't have anything to do with the Catholic Underground Railway. They're not connected. It's not like they're the Knights. They're very different. It's fine. It's all fine. Oh great, because what we needed is more chaos added to the mix. Austria is truly becoming an abomination. Okay, with that done, we probably should move towards going with the general here. If we support him, he'll help us later. And you never know, you might need a old-fashioned general. Could help. Let's quickly liberalise the banking sector. I'm not saying cutting it close, but I think we're cutting it a little bit close here. Okay, end land reform gives us lots of political power and gives us some building space. Well, breathing space. I'm going to go attend a public mass, really keeping up with my Catholic roots here. It's at this point I'm going to make sure that women can be pilots in this country, assuming they want to. We need democratic support at 40 before we can become a Catholic state, which is going to be close to avoid a war, but it should be doable. Negative 5% consumer goods. Okay, let's see if we can quickly deal with the Spanish Civil War. I know I'm picking an odd time to go into it, but listen, we got to help our friends, right? It's where we came from. Now I'm in a difficult position here because I have to pick between the completely evil Spanish Directory or the basically going communist Spain, but is still democratic. So even though this isn't the most Catholic option, I think I'm going to support the Spanish loyalists. Yeah. I think. Oh, and there go the anarchists. There go the Carlists. Okay, support Spain's loyalists. I'm totally sure that they're going to win this. It's just going to happen, isn't it? Let's use this time to get a research slot. Should be pretty helpful. That is a weird Anschluss of Austria. Going to keep on moving towards supporting General Cedillo so he doesn't completely civil war my country. I'm also going to ban communism because after all that chaos it's getting a little bit too big for its own boots. For some reason I'm feeling compelled to click the focus that says Bolivarian Alliance. There's something about this and Gran Colombia that just calls to me. I wonder if it has something to do with that light. It's just occurred to me the match has been lit and a second Mexican revolution is on its way due to our support of the Holy Church. We need to be very careful. In case you're wondering what the Underground Railway has been up to, it's currently in Washington DC, just talking to the President. As you do. Okay, we have formed our Bolivarian Alliance. Whatever we're doing, let's hope that once it's done, it just stands with us. We need to keep working towards placating this general though, so every so often I pop in here and do one of these focuses. Gonna attend another public mass. Now that Caudilla has his private armies, I'm gonna quickly move on and transfer lands to the church, which gives us a Catholic state, and do Catholic politics. It's time to finally make the switch over and become a Catholic Mexico. And so it was done. The Mexican Republic has been formed under the light of Catholicism, a democratic, good-natured. Yes, I made this video entirely because they finally fixed the portrait for Luis Maria Martinez. How long have I waited for this portrait to be fixed? This is the entire reason we are all here, is just to look at his face. I am not memeing, this is 100% the reason I made this video. That's why, because this has finally been fixed. There he is. Look at his little face and his little glasses. He's got a little hat on too. Aww. Okay, let's quickly not become a Catholic state before we have a civil war, and move down with our coastal defence plan. Under the light of Luis Martinez, we can finally put an end to the Cadillo chaos that has plagued our lands for so long. Good. Okay, with 23 days to spare, nationalise the church lands, avoid a civil war. I've just received a letter from France asking them that if they want to join my faction. Do I want France in my faction? I think I'm gonna say no, but good luck with the war anyway. If only there was a way to spread Catholicism to Uganda. If only. Cedillo has been placated. We can now carry on with our lives. Thank goodness. It is now that the light will speak to me and give me its final wisdom on what I must do as Catholic Mexico.
It's about time you march southwards and begin the most wholesome crusade the world has ever seen. Bring biscuits and tea with you. K, thanks.
It begins with March Southwards. March Southwards is complete, which means we can begin our annexation of Central America. Let's hire the general. Perfect for this kind of thing. Pushing into Guatemala. Oh, and we just took it. And there's the capitulation. We must push on. Their units are just too weak to stop us. So let's justify and declare on more people. We're democratic, but through the power of the Catholic focus tree, we can just push straight through regardless. It's democracy, but in like a good way. Let's ensure we have full social Catholicism. Pushing now into a capital that I can't possibly pronounce the name of. They are now very, very Catholic. And perfectly timed, we somehow managed to get El Salvador and Nicaragua on the same day. That was meant to be. There goes Costa Rica. For our next focus, we're going to invite Brazil, because we're never going to actually conquer Brazil, so we might as well have them on our side. If you're wondering what I was waiting for, Panama has now stuck their single unit on the border, which means that their capital city is now empty. An easy push in the west. Canada declares independence. Interesting. Panama taken in the east. I am not a fan of the new colour for Canada. I think it should just stay the way it is. It's like a sickly white pink. Ugh. Ironically, I've hired Calais to help us with our new war front. I'm certain he's completely fine with the fully Catholic state Mexico. There's no conflict of interest here. The Spanish Empire joins the Axis. Good night, France. I'm going to use what's left of this time to liberate the Antilles in case there's anything else we can conquer with our Liberate the Caribbean focus. I don't have high hopes, but we'll see if they agree. One of our agents was just killed in America. Ugh, the underground. The sound of the underground. Let's see if we can invite Venezuela to our faction. The answer is yes. How about Brazil? Another yes. Okay, so now we have some foothold for any future invasions going down the west coast, which is kind of the plan. Historically, we should have a new pope, but I don't remember getting an event to show that. I feel like that could be like a big thing in the game, you know, the pope has changed in Italy. Maybe its own like mechanic. I'm just throwing ideas out. The Netherlands says no, the US says no, France says no. I mean, I did say I had low expectations, but let's liberate the Caribbean anyway. The Allies is significantly smaller. Well, since I can't eat you, welcome to the faction, Bliss. Rest in peace, France. Let's see if we can take on Cuba. The answer is quite possibly, but they're very stuck in Havana. Ooh, nah. My units appear to be disappearing. Like, actually just disappearing. I understand they have no supply, but they're dying when they have 50% org. Is this normal? It may be time to admit that things didn't go quite as I had hoped. I generally don't know where my units disappeared to. They just... What? Oh, for God's sake. Okay, so one invasion went well. Trinidad and Tobago. And the Bahamas? That's British Antilles. The election campaign begins. Constitutional reform is essential for the stability of the country. I think I have to pick a new leader. But I waited literally years for this portrait to be added to the game. I can't. What? Yep. Oh, God. Well, since we're going to be going to war and deal with some problematic things, let's go with the social reformer. I like his moustache, I'll give him that. We could spend 250 political power and just core all of this. I skipped El Salvador because I wanted a pretty good thoroughfare in case we want to do Panama Canal. Well, since Cuba was a resounding success, I'm sure Colombia will be even easier. Okay, and with that we appear to be pushing into Peru. They seem to have 16 units here, which seems a tad excessive, dare I say? Let us reform the Cristero Guard in our time of need. Somehow, I think Brazil invaded Jamaica for me. So, thanks? Brazil, you absolute madman. Jesus has arrived, and he's not particularly good. But who cares? Well, for some positive news, we got Colombia. August 1941, Mexico. October 1941, Ecuador. I'm sorry, Oscar, but the time has come. And with that, Catholicism has taken back Peru. And I think on that, I'm going to leave it. Now, you could carry on a campaign into the south, taking Argentina, Bolivia, and to be honest, I think it'll actually be easier than getting through Peru and Colombia, because the mountains here are just treacherous. But once you get into the sort of open plains in Argentina, it's very easy to take Chile and Uruguay and Paraguay. It's just about going through Bolivia and into Argentina. So it's very doable, but I'm going to leave it there. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Paradox, for finally giving the Catholic Democratic leader a portrait. I do think Mexico has one of the best focus trees in the game. If you enjoyed, feel free to like, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Alright, bye bye.